Hi everyone. Today my topic is about cross pollination. I am Mukesh Kumar. My user number is 17348. Uh, I want to tell about cross pollination. That's about xenomony and allogamy. Cross pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to stigma of a genetically different flower. And cross pollination is performed with the help of an external agency. The agencies of pollination are two types: abiotic agencies and biotic agencies. In abiotic, there are two, and wind and water. Wind is called anemophily, and water is called hydrophily. In biotic agents, involves insects, birds, bats, and snails, ants, and snakes. And I want to explain about anemophily. It is mode of cross-pollination of transfer of pollen grains through the agents of wind. For example, coconut palm, date palm, maize, and many grasses. The characteristics of anemophily are the flowers are colorless, odorless, and nectarless. Pollen grains are light, smell, and winged or dusty, dry, smooth, non-sticky, and unwettable. Stigma is hairy, feathery, or branched to catch the wind-borne pollen grains. Pollen grains are produced in very large number. And about hydrophily, it is mode of pollination and transfer of pollen grains through the agency of water. For example, Juicera and Vallisneria. Its characters are flowers are small and inconspicuous. Nectar and odor are absent. Pollen grains are light and unwettable due to presence of mucilage cover. And stigma is long, sticky but wettable. And about entomophily, the pollen grains are transferred to a mature through agency of insects like moths, butterflies, wasps, bees, and beetles. For example, characteristics are they are showy and brightly colored. Most insect pollinated flowers have a landing platform. The pollen grains are spiny, heavy, and surrounded by a early oil sticky substance called pollen kit. Stigmas are often inserted and sticky. Some flowers provide safe place to insects for laying eggs, example yucca. And about ornithophilia, it is made of allogamy performed by birds. Only few types of birds are specialized for this. They usually have small size and long breaks. Its characteristics are orthonophilous flowers are usually brightly colored, red, orange, yellow, and blue. The floral parts are commonly leathery. The orthonophilous flowers secrete abundant water nectar or have edible parts. And about these methods of ensure cross pollination are dichotomy, protandry, and hercogamy, self sterility. And the dichotomy explains about the anthers and stigma matures at different times in bisexual flower, so as to prevent the self pollination. About protandry, anthers mature earlier than stigma of the same flower. The pollen grains become available to stigma of the older flowers. For example, sunflower and salvia. About protagamy, protagamy stigmas mature earlier so that they can pollinate before the anthers of same flower develop pollen grains. For example, mirabilis and jalapa and glossia plantago. Hercogamy. In some bisexual flowers, the structure of male and female sex organs itself prove a barrier to self pollination. And about self sterility, it's also called self incompatibility. Pollen grains of a flower do not germinate on stigma of the same flower due to presence of similar self sterile gene. And well, for example, tobacco, potato, and cruciferous. And the heterostyle, these are two types of flowers with different heights of styles and stamens. The two types of heterostyle are diheterostyle and triheterostyle. The diheterostyle involves two types of flowers, pin, uh, pin-eyed and thorn-eyed. In triheterostyle, there are three types of flowers with different heights of styles. For example, lithorum pollination occurs between anthers and stigma of the same height, present in different flowers. The importance of cross pollination. The importance explains about advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of cross pollination are it introduces recombination and hence variations in progeny. And in disadvantages, a factor of chance is always involved in cross pollination. In that in advantage, Cross pollination increases the adaptability of offspring towards the change in the environment, but here it is less in economical. Um, Goes to advantages, it makes the organisms better filled in the struggle for existence, and here some undesirable characters may creep in the race. The plants produced through cross pollination are more resistant to diseases, and here the very good character of the race are like to be spoiled. Finally, I conclude that about cross pollination is cross pollination, when followed by the fertilization, leads to the production of offspring with heterosis or hybrid vigor. That self pollination occurs in species where pollination agents are scarce and is closed flaws when the pollination agents have limited access to the sexual structures of the flower. Here I complete my topic and thank you, one and all.